Hey guys, it's Rachel and welcome back to another video, and today I'm showing you guys how to change your normally drawn trading cards and make them into professional looking trading cards on the computer. So let's go ahead and get right into this. Alright, so the first thing that we need to do is get our cards onto the computer. So there are two ways to do this. You can either scan your cards or you can go outside and take pictures of your cards. This is the way that I like to do it. My scanner works well, but I would rather go outside and get the really nice lighting. So what I do is just go outside, put it on the ground, and make sure that I'm in direct sunlight and take a picture of it. Now we upload our photo to the computer and get started in Photoshop. So now that you're in your editing software, today I'm going to be using Photoshop. You guys can also use GIMP, and GIMP is free. I'll leave the download in the description below, but preferably Photoshop because that's what I'm going to be using today. But if you only have GIMP, you can find basically all these tutorials of like the little things I'm going to be doing, like adding squares and rectangles online. So if you have GIMP, you can still do this. But first off, start off by going into your tool panel on the left, grab your crop symbol, and you're going to crop your card down. Alright, now that you're done with that, you can zoom in a little bit. And what I would do next is I would go up to image, I'd go to image size, and then I would go to pixels and press inches. And this just depends on what you want for your width and height, but for an average card, especially for if you're putting it on the Game Crafter, it's going to be 2.5 inches by 3.5. If your numbers change automatically like this, that's because they're linked, so unlink them by pressing this little chain thing right here. And then you can have the numbers be slightly different, and then what this will do when you press OK is it'll automatically warp the image for you so that it fits those dimensions. So if I press OK, now if we go in a little bit, this is exactly 2.5 by 3.5 inches. Alright, now what we're going to do is this box down here, and we're going to make it digital. So it depends on exactly what your cards look like. They could be completely different from mine. So these aren't the actual cards that I make Heroic, and Heroic has a completely different template from this, but this is about the average card template of a normal card that you'll see on the market. So if you guys have something different, you can kind of cater this tutorial to your card game. Alright, so first what I'm going to do for this box down here is that I'm going to go over to the rectangle tool over here, and if you can't find it, you can right click and press on the rectangle tool. Then up here, you've got the fill and the stroke. So the stroke is going to be like the outside, and then the fill is what's the color on the inside. So as you can see, you get this little dropper. You can pick what color that you want. So with this, you sort of have to trial and error just to see what kind of stroke you want. So if we go right here and go into the corner of our box, click on it, then go down to the opposite corner, let go, and it gives us a box. So I think I'm going to want the stroke a little bit smaller, maybe like 5. You guys can do whatever you want. I change the stroke to 5 pixels, and I'm going to re-put the box in. And it'll turn out like that. See, I like this. And if you ever didn't align it perfectly, as you can see, it automatically makes it a different layer. So what you can do is go up to Edit, go down to Free Transform, and it'll let you change it so that it lines up perfectly. So next, I'm going to add a border around my image just to make it pop a little bit more. So first, I'm going to go over down to the layers and add a new layer, because else I'll keep transforming my rectangle. And then we're going to go back to our rectangle, and then up here for the fill, I'm going to press this no fill one with a little red strike in it so that it doesn't get a color in the middle of it. So I'm going to go up to the corner, go down here, and let go, and then I get a nice box around it. And then I'm going to do the same thing, free transform it, and just get it to line up a little bit better. And now for this little circle up here, I'm going to go ahead and add a new layer. Then what we're going to do is go over to our rectangle tool where it was, and then right click on it and press the ellipse tool. And not all of you are going to have a circle, but I would just show it to you anyways in case you did. So you're going to go back up to your fill and stroke, have your fill at the same color as your other ones, so like your box down here, or it depends on whatever you want. Actually, I'm going to have it white, and my stroke, I'm just going to have it black. So for Photoshop, if you want to make a circle that is a perfect circle and not like a oval or anything, you have to hold shift when you start making it, just like this, and just get it roughly about the same size, and then let go. Then what we're going to do is go back to Edit, Free Transform, and just line this up with our circle. If you find that you can't get it to line up because it's been locking with the side, you can go up to View, go down to Snap To, and just unclick all of these so that it doesn't snap to any of the documents. So once you have that, you can press Enter, and now you have your circle. So then for our title box, we basically do the same thing as our text box down here. Go down to a new layer and do the same thing, but you want to make sure that your ellipse, or if you have a circle, is on top of your text box. And I forgot to mention, if you guys want rounded corners, there is a rounded rectangle tool, and then up here you can choose basically how big the roundedness is. So if I make a square, then if I go over here, I can move this up and down like that, and we're gonna be using this to add a border onto our cards. Alright, so back to our title box. We're going to do the same colors. Go to our layer, choose our fill color, then choose our stroke, have our stroke at probably the same pixels as our other boxes. Then just go ahead and put in the box. And there we go. Now we have our title, and all of our boxes are in. And if you want to make your background color more consistent, what you can do is you can add a new layer. Go ahead and go to your rectangle select here, rectangle marquee tool, and you're going to go around your image and kind of just select it like this. Then once you've done that, you can go up to the select button, press inverse, and then go to edit, fill, and choose your color, and then just press OK, and it'll fill it in. So now you see all your text boxes are gone. So you're going to take your layer 1, or basically the layer that you just filled in, and put it all the way to the bottom, and then you have all your boxes and stuff come up onto the top. Next, what we're going to do is start adding in some of the attack and defense stuff that is on your card. So if we go over here, so if we go back to our rectangle tool and right click and press line tool, now we can make our fill nothing, have our stroke be 5 and black, and you can go ahead and make a line for your attack and defense. And if your line isn't showing up, just go ahead and check your layers and see what see where it is, because mine wasn't showing up, so I just had to move it on top of my other layers. Then you can mess with your width of your stroke. I'm probably going to put it at like 2. Now for adding in images of like the sword and the shield on this card, there's a few different ways you can do this. One, you can get Google images, and there's another way where you can actually put the image that you made onto your card. So I'm going to show you the second way first, because most of you would probably want to do this. So first, you're going to get a PNG file like this, and you can find these anywhere on Google. All you have to search is like PNG transparent image or PNG, like that all works too, and you'll get this, which basically is like just a plain black image or a white image, or it'll come out like this on Google with this like checker effect. So this is called a PNG image, and basically it's a transparent image. So first thing you're going to do is go up to image, go to image size, and make your pixels probably about 1000 by 1000. So once you've got this 1000 by 1000, you're going to go ahead and import your card into another project. Then you're going to go ahead and crop this down to the exact image that you want. So I just want this sword. Once you do that, you can zoom in a little bit and just crop this down even more. And that looks pretty good. So next you're going to go here, back to your rectangle select tool, select the whole thing. Press Control C on your keyboard so that you copy it, or you can right click and copy. Go back to your PNG image and then Control V or paste it. Then you're going to go over here to your magic wand tool. This is extremely useful, but you're going to just click on the outside of your sword, so that selects everything outside it. Then you're going to go to your eraser tool, make it a nice big eraser, and just erase everything around of it. Next, this is optional, but it's pretty cool to do. You can press image, do some adjustments just to make it pop a little bit more. You can turn the brightness down, turn the contrast up, you know, do what you want. Alright, so now that you've erased everything around your sword, you're going to go ahead and select it, do Control C to copy it, go back over to your project file of your main card. Control V to paste it in. Then make sure that you're on the layer of the sword or whatever image that you have. Go to Edit, Free Transform, and now you can transform it and put it to the right size of your card. Alright, now that you've got your sword in, if you have another picture, you can go ahead and do that too. Alright, now that you've got in your 2 images, or whatever amount of images you have, you can go ahead and add any extra lines that you need to. So now you've got these 2 images. I have another image up here, so I'm going to do that too also. Alright, and now the other way that you could do it is you could go to Google and search for images. And when you do this, you want to make sure that you find images that you're able to use for your own stuff, because there's like copyright policy and stuff like that. What you're going to do is you're going to go up to Impress Tools, go to Usage Rights, and you'll do Labeled for Reuse with Modification. And basically this means you can use these and modify them and still use them in your game. So lastly, we're just going to do some text stuff. So go over to our text button, which is this T. You can choose your font. Probably do something pretty simple. I'm going to do Book Antica. And then we're going to go ahead and add in a font. Alright, so I went ahead and put in the text. I changed his name a little bit just because I like this better. And I made it the right size, and I'm going to change the color to black. You guys can do whatever you want. So for the numbers, you're going to go ahead and give them their own title boxes. And at least for me, I'm going to try to find a text that's pretty slim. So maybe this Bernard MT condensed, because I don't have a ton of room to put in text. Then I'm just going to make it the right size for me and put it where I want, and then do the same thing for the defense. Once you've done that, you can go ahead and add in your text for your text box. Usually when you do this, you want to make it the same text as your title, but this is optional. You can do whatever you want. And one note, guys, is when you're doing all this stuff, make sure that you write down the numbers of like the dimensions and sizes for text and stuff that you use, so that you can keep your cards consistent. So I finished putting in the text. Then I'm going to go down here and add in the number for the card. This is also optional. Alright, so next we're going to be adding a border. So what you're going to go and do is you're going to go up to Image. You're going to press Canvas Size. And then you're going to put it at centimeters. So we're going to do, depends on what you're doing with your cards. So if you're doing the Game Crafter, I recommend having your border, I think it's at like 1 centimeter. I think it's at like 1 centimeter for the border, because like half of it gets cut off just for safe measures. But for me, I'm just going to do a 1/2 centimeter just to make it a little bit smaller. But if you're doing the Game Crafter, I recommend making it bigger. But if also if you're doing the Game Crafter, I recommend just kind of guessing and checking. So you'll make it and then you'll upload it to the Game Crafter, see if it fits their template, and then if it doesn't, you can fix it. If it does, then that's good. So we're going to go ahead and make this 0.5 and have it as the height and the width. Once you've done that, you can go ahead and press OK, and it'll give you a border. So for the Game Crafter, it might actually be larger than 1 centimeter. It's probably way larger, but again, you'll just have to guess and check. So now if you want to round your corners, like right here, I recommend if you're doing this for the Game Crafter that you round your corners, because they round the actual corner of the cards. So if you round the corner like right here, then it'll just line up with the cards better and it'll look better. So what we're going to do first to get these rounded corners is go up to Layer, go down to Vector Mask, and press Reveal All. And when you do this, make sure that you on the layer that you're going to be rounding. So I'm going to be rounding this blue layer. So I'm going to go and do that for this layer. Go down to Vector Mask and Reveal All. And you want to make sure that this white layer is selected. So now go to your rounded rectangle tool over here, which is under the rectangle tool. You're going to make sure this is at Path. Then go to your, basically whatever you're rounding, and select it like this. And then you're going to round it. And then once you've rounded it like this, you can go ahead and unselect. And as you can see, there's a very slight difference. That's because it's showing the background layer down here. So if you go to your background layer, unlock it, then take something like your paintbrush and choose a black color. And then you're just going to go ahead and fill in all the corners like this. so that it gets rid of that back layer. And before you finish your card, you're going to go up to image, go to canvas size, go back to inches, and put this back to 2.5 by 3.5. Alright, now that you've done that, you have finished your card. So you can go ahead and export it. So go to File, Export, and Export As, and save your image. Alright, now that you've done this, you can go ahead and print it off. I'm going to print it right onto my Blick smooth bristle paper. You guys can use whatever you want. If you only have the average printer paper, that works too. It's just going to be flimsier. So, yeah. Let's go and take a final look at the cards. Alright, so now I'm going to show you guys how to print these. So you can either use Google Docs, which I'm going to be using, or you can use Microsoft Word. So for Google Docs, first you're going to put your zoom at 118, and for Microsoft Word, it'll be 105. This just makes it the perfect size for a piece of paper. Then you're going to go ahead and import your card. Then this part might be a little bit confusing for some, but you're going to take your card template. This is just a 2.5 by 3.5 cardstock, and then you're going to transform your card behind it and make it the perfect size. Last but not least, you just go print it off, and let's go take a look. Alright, so here is the final product of my professional transformation of my card. It actually printed out a little bit small. I think my printer messed it up a little bit. That happens sometimes. You just kind of have to trial and error. I hope this tutorial helped you guys out. I know I haven't seen any tutorials on this, so I thought I would make one myself. If this did help you out, leave a like, leave a comment down below, let me know what you guys like to see on my channel, and don't forget to subscribe for more awesome art videos, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.